Hey, this is Notser, and today we're going to be taking a look at Wukong. This is the premium Tier 8 Pan-Asian cruiser, and it is stylized after the Charles Martel. Now, obviously, I covered the Baji yesterday, which is an Izmo in disguise for the Pan-Asians. This is the Charles Martel, only worse, disguised for the Pan-Asians. Every change it makes the ship worse compared to the Charles. I would absolutely prefer to just play the Charles, but I'm going to show you this gameplay, talk about the changes, and hopefully it'll answer any of your concerns with the ship. But my initial impression on this is just created so that it can sell Lunar New Year skins for the Chinese market. Because no one else would buy this and use it over the Charles Martel. So Charles Martel, obviously, it is 9 203mm guns on 3 gun turrets, as you can see. 2 in the front, 1 on the rear. It has really good gun velocity, because it's French. All those traits apply, HE, AP, everything Frenchy about it, as far as the guns are concerned, is definitely there. And I, honestly, in this game, you're going to see we're going to rack up a ton of damage. And, oh yeah, friendly Vladivostok just sailing by. But we're going to rack up a ton of damage in this game. For the torpedo systems, it's deep water torpedoes. Ugh. It does have 12-kilometer range deep water torpedoes, but that's pretty much what you would expect with the Charles Martel or the Saint Louis or the Henri. You have long-range torpedoes with 1 torpedo launcher, either 2 or 3. I think this is a 3 launcher, but that's it. It's kind of an all-or-nothing situation. You don't have a second follow-up. This also has the ability to equip defensive AA. It has a scout aircraft. It cannot use speed boost, though. And it cannot use main battery reload. So this ship is just very weird. And honestly, I'm not really remembering correctly. I think I'm stuck with defensive AA as well over hydroacoustic. So it's just one bad change after another. I could possibly live with deep water torpedoes versus regular torpedoes. Don't really use that many torpedoes, if I'm being honest, as a French player. But then you go ahead and you take away speed boost, a very, very important trait that all French cruisers, and battleships, and DDs share. It's not here. And you also, instead of using main battery reload, which would be so much better, you're forcing me to use torpedo reload booster. Why would you do this, Wargaming? Why would you make me play a ship like this? It doesn't even have its national flag. It's stuck with the Pan-Asian flag right now, which, it looks really weird. It has every feature of the Charles Martel premium camo. It just doesn't have the French flag flying. If someone looked at the ship just with their eyes and not looking at the name overhead, you would have mistaken it for a French. Absolutely. But again, the existence of this ship in the Baji is to sell Lunar New Year skins. Make no mistake about that. I think Wargaming decided to make changes themselves, and I definitely appreciate them making changes to try and appeal to me as a player, but these changes are meaningless. They literally are making the ship worse. Like, for every situation in this game, just think about it. I don't have main battery reload. So like that Benson that was over by Sea Point, I think it was a Benson, easily could have used main battery reload and probably assisted in killing him before he retreated back. Now, he eventually died, but still, I had to rely on another person to kill the target. And notice how my team is deployed. They're all over by sea. I decided to try and head off these ships at the pass, slow them down, and do some damage. And we're farming nice damage. Big shocker, French cruiser does good long-range fire, even without main battery reload. Yeah, remember, at one time, this was how the Charles Martel was set up. You didn't have main battery reload. You had to rely on just firing on cooldown. What kind of heresy is that? I would never want to go back there because main battery reload is such a fun mechanic that the French get to enjoy. So me over here looking at the Wukong, I'm going, why would I ever do this? For a skin? Why can't the skin be on the Charles Martel, guys? It doesn't need to be literally Pan-Asian to have a Lunar New Year skin. You could just make a Lunar New Year skin on any ship and sell it in that region. I am beyond perplexed by the decision to make these changes, assign the camo to this, and be done with it. Like, clearly they want this out very soon, so this isn't some spectacular design that they've implemented. This is very safe. But even playing it safe, it's just a downgrade. You know, it's just a disappointment. And I don't think a premium should ever be a disappointment. Now, it is a tier 8, which is nice. It means that it's not going to have some exotic cost. It's probably going to be for doubloons. It's probably going to be like $45 or $55-ish. Which you could, in the armory, use a coupon, which just reset on the 26th, whenever this actually comes out. And you could choose to spend it on that, I expect. But why would you? Why would you want this? If you have the Charles, this is literally a worse version. Now, it is a cruiser for the Pan-Asians, and there are multiple cruisers that are already available for the faction, so it's not some unheard of existence like the Baji. Now, the Baji is going to have to take away... Oh gosh, we're taking so much damage here. It doesn't have a heal. It has all of the downsides of the Charles with none of the upside that the Charles would have had. So yeah, it's really, really hard for me to justify why this exists. I'm really at a loss. Deepwater torpedoes are not a compelling enough trait. They certainly aren't in distance either. I mean, I think the distance is exactly the same, if I remember correctly. So what's the point? Are they faster, lower concealment? I mean, I'm not really a fan of deepwater torpedoes. They limit your options too much, and I definitely feel like it's always going to be that way. It's always going to be something that the opponent can take advantage of if you're against the right kind of opponent. But I will say, since it has torpedo reload booster, it sort of effectively has double launcher on either side of the ship. And that ends up feeling really nice. It's one of the downsides of the French is that they only have one launcher on either side of the ship. And that keeps it to where, you know, those torpedoes basically are non-existent. I'm sure that the French torpedoes have done, from a cruiser standpoint, probably less than 1% of the damage of the entire time that they've existed in the game. They're just that infrequent involved in combat. So yeah, it's nice that if for whatever reason I get a chance to hold my fire with a full concealment build with less than a kilometer between my detection and the range of my torpedoes, maybe I could send them towards Friedrich or Massachusetts. Use my torpedo reload if they juke and send another set in a very subsequent way. But it's just like, why? Why would I choose it? I wouldn't choose it. And I don't think neither should you. You know, there are plenty of premium ships in the game that are either not a downgrade or offer a more unique feature that is more integrated into that ship's basic play so that it doesn't feel like just awkwardness. That's just the Wukong is awkward. Just is. You know, it's just the way it goes. I can't, like, there's not a lot to talk about when every single choice they made in differentiating this ship makes it worse. And I don't think there's anything that they could do. They could literally make the guns fire twice as fast, but not having main battery reload is going to be a disadvantage against certain situations. And same with deep water torpedoes. So I'm just, yeah, it's just clearly very easy at farming damage. The gun velocity, the maneuverability, all of that is here that you enjoy on the Charles Martel, which is very good. I think the French cruiser line is honestly a very overlooked line on North America. Can't say the same for something like Russia or Europe. I do know that the French are played quite frequently, but on North America and probably Southeast Asia, it's just, they're not given the kind of respect they deserve. You know, the Henri is one thing, but the Charles and the Saint Louis, they are completely viable and very effective. And it's because of speed boost, main battery reload, the gun velocity and the range. All really good, you know, no issue with it. It's just those damn consumable choices. They're just very weak. And there's no other way to describe it. It just is a downside. So, you know, we're engaging the minnow. Friendly Smolensk was able to get 5 kills. We've only done 132. I mean, 132,000 damage is really nice. It's been, what, 12 minutes in the game? I'm very happy with that. I probably could have done more. Probably could have gotten a kill or 2 with main battery reload. I don't know that the scenario is ever going to get better for me with deep water torpedoes. They just feel very out of place. I have felt this way with the Irian as well. If you're not familiar with Irian, that is a Tier 8 premium Pan-Asian cruiser. It is set up nicely to be sort of a mirror to the Mikhail Kuznetsov. And what it does is, Kutuzov, sorry. And what it does is it swaps in deep water torpedoes, and it doesn't have smoke. Instead of smoke, it uses the torpedo reload booster. So this idea of deep water torpedo with torpedo reload booster is not a new concept. It's just, in my opinion, poorly implemented on this ship. Is there anything that they could do to make this ship more relevant to me as a player? I really want main battery reload back. I really, really want main battery reload back. I don't know that they're ever going to give it back. I don't know that that's even a possibility. I can't even lobby for it. But I really, really miss it. I miss it for HE. I miss it for AP. It's just a universally effective consumable that anyone would be fortunate to have. You know, it's sort of a French thing, and I get that. They don't want the Pan-Asian to be assigned to that. But this deep water torpedo reload booster is not really a feature that I look forward to. I think that deep water torpedoes, if Wargaming would be honest with themselves, they might stand to benefit from some change or adjustment. They're just not good enough for all of the downsides. They always release torpedoes that are faster and do more damage and have a lower cooldown, and you gotta compete directly with those torpedoes. And, you know, the power creep is so obvious. Even the player's ability to deal with deep water torpedoes has evolved so much more. And it's just not a trait that I really care too much about. Just isn't. So, yeah, as long as the deep water torpedo situation exists and it's not really an upgrade, it feels more like a downgrade. I think that we're going to continue to see these Pan-Asians not really pan out in excitability. The other traits are nice, and eventually having these sort of weird, fake, alternative history designs, it might end up making a nice Pan-Asian cruiser line. But I think that just like they did with the Italian cruisers, and with the SAP and the normalization angle, they really need to take a look at Deepwater Torpedo and say to themselves, is this the best version for the game? And is it doing enough to be an attractive trait? And I just don't think it's there. And, you know, I felt that way for a while, and I still feel that way. So the Wukong hasn't changed my mind at all. All it's done is solidified that main battery reload and speed boost are so much better than deep water torpedoes and torpedo reload booster. They're not even in the same contest. You might even give a third consumable to the Wukong, and it would still be weaker because it wouldn't be main battery reload and speed boost, you know. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the preview. Tell me what you think. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to check out more of my content, you can click the most recent or the most relevant uploads. You could also choose to subscribe to my channel. We do daily World War videos, first impression, how-to, news, and review related. My North American recruit invite is on the screen. You can take advantage of that. I stream at twitch.tv/Notser. Thank you, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.